And coming back to the question, Manoj, that I'd asked earlier, what would you have to say to that? Given the fact that one is, we say truth is knowing the inner being. We also talked about it's a journey, paths there, paths not there. But also the truth when it is in dialoguing, when there is a perception that probably exists as a wheel. How do we, in that moment, bring that space, bring that dialoguing, bring in that effort, that what is truth even there? Especially when one holds on to that version of truth, knowing that this is truth for me and that's my inner being. Which is where somewhere we are also seeing what's happening in the world.
Yeah, if truth is something that you reduce into some mental structure, some mental map, and then you're listening to others. While you're listening, you're trying to fit that into your mental map. That's purely at a mind level. At a level below, at the level of energies, when a dialogue is happening, it is not just a cognitive process. There is an exchange of energies trying to blend, trying to dance together. Either they are fighting with each other or dancing with each other, finding the synchronization at an energetic level. If that is not happening, no amount of mental analysis and trying to arrive at will not work. So, in the process of dialogue, if we are able to receive the other, not at a mental structural level, but energetically to receive. When you receive another person's energy, you can directly sense the state of the being. What is the inner state of the being? Whether it is restless, whether it is at peace, whether it is in conflict with itself. And that is the energy that enters into you. And if you are not established in a deeper inner peace and stillness, you will be swept off by it, you will be formatted by it, and your own thinking get scrambled if what is coming in is a disturbed energy, or disturbed emotion, disturbed force. So, when we refer to dialogue, usually we are referring to something that is happening at an intellectual, mental level. But there is a whole underlying dimension. Unless there we establish peace. And if the mind is able to sense there is fear, there is anxiety, there is an internal division. And on the top of it, often what is below the surface is not visible to the one who is perhaps saying something, and they are upset by you, but the same flaw they are pointing at you is there within, and they are not able to see it. And if you happen to point that out, or usually in the dialogue what happens is attempt to convince and trying to expose, saying that, see, can't you see your own flaw and your own limitation in your own arguments? It backfires normally. I haven't seen that working. Unless there is sufficient ground for I have been heard, I have been received, not necessarily agreed, just you have been heard. And there is this need to be heard. And this is something that is deeply missing in today's world. Everyone is trying to convince the other. There is very little listening and receiving. And listening is an act of love. So if we can even just provide a space to listen. That will be a great starting point. And while listening, learning to establish and dissolve and be at peace, so that all that is coming from the other is entering you and entering into a deep, peaceful harmony. Only from that space, if we are able to express something, that might get through or might enter into a harmonious exchange. Otherwise, there is no possibility. We will be throwing and trying to solve something at a mental level, whereas issues are much deeper and veiled. That's what I would say.
Thank you. Ashichi, you wanted to say something.